So Nicole, it's Baku and it's the first European Games and it's the latest stop on what's becoming a very spectacular career for you.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to the European Games. I've had busy last year with the Commonwealth Games and World Championships, and I just hope to up my routines and hopefully get to the European Games and do an even better performance.
Slightly further afield in Glasgow though, this is.
Yeah, it definitely is, but I think it's a great experience getting away to all different countries to do competitions as well as doing ones close to home. Although you have family support at home, I still think it's good to become more independent and go out and try and do your best in other countries around the world.
And also it is one of the great televisual sports and it always gets great attention, full houses and so on for major championships.
Yeah, and with lots of different sports going to this one as well, it's a great experience to see multi-sport events and going and meeting all the other competitors, and it just makes it a lot more fun than just one sport event.
And you've already had this with the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow last year.
Yeah, having the Commonwealth Village and stuff was a great experience because you were out there for about 2 weeks and you had your training the first week and then competing the second week. But while you weren't competing or training, you had the village and you were able to socialise with people from all around the world. It was a great experience.
So this obviously helps you a lot going into Baku and the European Games?
Yeah, I kind of know what to expect from Glasgow and I just can't wait to be able to try and do even better than I did at Glasgow.
I mean, your career the last couple of years has been fantastic. There was a major mishap that you had a few years ago which pretty much put your career in jeopardy.
Yeah, I had bulging discs in the bottom of my spine, which I realised after an MRI scan, and I thought I was going to have to stop gymnastics, but then building it back up, my training with physio allowed me to continue on and still compete.
So in terms of the amount of training that you did, how would you fit that in with your schooling?
I went to school, I would get up at 7:30 and then by the time I finished school it was 3:30. Then I would get in the car and go straight up to training and usually try and eat something in the car, and it was always packed lunches. Then I would train from 4:30 to 8:30 and then drive an hour and a half home because I live in Portavogie, which is an hour and a half from Lisburn where my gym is. So I would just have to do my homework in the bus in the mornings or try and squeeze it in school. So it was difficult, but I managed.
They didn't mind?
No. The school were fine as long as I got it done, and they were quite accommodating to do with my sport, so they would have gave me any help that I needed if I asked.
You're still specialising in the vault, the beam and the bars. One of the great technical sports because obviously it's an opinionated sport, you've got the judging.
Yeah, it's very much on technique and you really have to show perfect routines because the judging is so harsh. If you make any tiny little mistake, the judges are going to see it. So it's a lot of practice and practicing the correct technique instead of practicing bad habits because you have to train as you want to compete. So put in good training and the competition will hopefully be clean.
What was that attracted you to gymnastics in the first place?
When I was younger, I was always cartwheeling about and had a lot of energy. So my mum decided when I was 7 to take me to Rathgale Gymnastics Centre in Bangor. At the start, I didn't really like it because I was a bit nervous, but then I eventually got used to it, and with 2 great coaches, Kim and Claire, I was able to develop my career, and then it just went from there.
And what's it like competing at the big events, we'll say like the Commonwealths or even the World Championships, because you've obviously got China there, you've got the United States where gymnastics is a very big deal.
It's great to see all of the really famous competitors like Mustafina, Simone Biles, Michaela Maroney from World Championships in 2013 where I was competing, and it was great to see how they trained leading up to the competition when we were out there and how they competed and how they didn't really show any nerves. They were just so confident, and the way they just even walked about the competition hall. It was a great experience to see and try and copy them to hopefully be more confident in competition.
Now you're 18 years old at the moment,
yeah.
Which for gymnastics, for women's gymnastics, is almost like a peak age because so many of the great names down through the years have been 17, 18, 19 when they've done their greatest things.
Like Beth Tweddell was competing maybe 24 or 25, so it just shows there's quite a lot of gymnasts that do drop out at my age. They would maybe quit when they get to 18, 19, but I think if you can go past that, because it really is your peak age, I think since I've got a bit older you kind of see it more from the coaching side and you can really concentrate on your training and focus on what benefits you in your training and how to get the most out of your training, whereas when you're younger you're maybe not really thinking outside the box, you're just focused as a gymnast, but as you get older you can see it from the coach's point of view and that helps develop your training.
So your career, you would hope, would be pretty much along the lines of Beth Twelve that you might carry on for another few years?
Yeah, I definitely want to carry on another few years because my routines that I'm doing at the minute are working well, and I have a lot of new skills on each piece that aren't competition ready yet, but they're still improving and I'm able to do them. So I definitely would like to get them into my routines and not stop just yet.
And in the same way that Glasgow would help Baku, then Baku would be a big help to Rio and the road to there.
Yeah, well, I'd love to get to Rio, and that's my main aim at the minute. So just knuckling down and training, I think would hopefully get me there. And especially Commonwealth Games was always my main goal, first of all. And since I reached the Commonwealth Games and was the only Northern Ireland gymnast to make it into the final, it showed that I do have potential and that if I believe in myself, I could possibly get to Rio.
And the fact that it was Glasgow, lots of support for you from Northern Ireland, for people who would have known you and not.
Yeah, my parents were able to come over to Glasgow, and there was lots of friends and family over there watching other competitors, so I thought it was great, and everyone at home was able to watch it on TV, and it was just a great atmosphere because you had so much support and everyone willing you on. Especially when I came home, everyone was talking about it and congratulating me, so it was great that everyone from home could see it because it was so close.
Hope your parents have tickets to Baku.
I don't know if they do.
That can be worked on, I'm sure. Your favourite all-time sporting moment, what would that be?
It would be making the top 24 individual final at Commonwealths, because I think I always never really truly believed in myself and my sport, and that could maybe hold me back. So now I've realised that I need to know that I can do it, and there's no reason why I can't do something if I put my mind to it and be confident in myself.
How much of a breakthrough would that have been for you?
I think it was great because it really made me stand back and think that I am in potential of bigger competitions, and that the one aim that I eventually got, I did well. So that was the main aim from when I started gymnastics when I was 7. So getting to that goal and making it a really positive competition, because I went clean in the individual final and got a great score, it just really boosted my confidence for further competitions.